Hi there, thanks for watching again. Here I am now back after making half the trip that was planned to be made. The trip was, if you remember, from Mallorca to Holland, but due to circumstances we managed to get to Cascais, which is near the town of Lisbon. In this vlog I will tell you about this experience, what happened actually, what you could expect if you start a trip like this on a boat that you don't know and nobody on board really knows the ship. It's totally new, and well, what the weather can do to the ship and to the technical state of it. It's been a nice and good experience. Learned a lot from it, and I'm sure it will be also interesting for you. The ship is a Tayana 37 of 1984, really a beautiful ship with some classical lines. It was built of polyester in Taiwan, and that was all still in very good state. The boat had been painted recently, and we had the engine checked by a mechanic. So after finding out how everything was working on board, with a good help of the previous owner's instructions, we set off to do our shopping and prepared the boat to set sail. Our destination was the Netherlands, with the first leg of about 10 days going to Lisbon or a bit more north if
Ready
possible,
to go.
and the second leg from there to the Netherlands. We knew the wind was not going to be much favorable, so we had to take into account some extra delays. First extra stop we had to make was in Ibiza. The wind was dead against, it was really hard, and we've been beating against the waves, so everybody was so tired we needed an extra stop and sleep. Well rested, we set sail again. On the way enjoying the beautiful skies and even some beautiful little tornadoes under a cloud. The wind was either too much or too little, and especially near Cabo de Gata we had to make some effort to pass it. Then also the batteries were running low and lower and lower and not charging again, so we had to decide to make a stop at the next possible big port where we could get a mechanic. This was to be Almeria. We had to turn off the autopilot and do the steering ourselves for the rest of the way. Fortunately, we could get a mechanic the same day, and he advised us a new dynamo and 2 new batteries. The time he needed to fix everything we used also to make some repairs and do some shopping to replenish all the stocks. Well rested and well stocked again, we set sail, and our destination was Gibraltar. On the way there was again either too little, sometimes too much wind. We tried to sail as much as possible, but had to use the engine a lot. That shouldn't be a problem, as we would have 400 liters in our tanks in total, and that would be enough to reach Gibraltar. Just when we thought we were well on the way to Gibraltar, in the middle of the night we appeared to have no more diesel. The engine stopped. We set a course for Marbella, the nearest bigger port, to find out what was going on. As there wasn't enough wind, just in front of the port, about half a mile, we had to ask for a tow inside. There we took in diesel and we found out there was 320 liters going into the tank, and we put an extra 10 into the spare jerry can. My crew had to catch a plane the next day, so there was no more time to sail on for Gibraltar. So instead we used the time to see what Marbella was like, enjoy the good weather, and of course to buy some more supplies for the next crew, as well as doing some jobs on the boat for cleaning and repairs. The new crew was happy to be on board and ready to set sail. Let's see how far we can get on this trip. The next destination was passing Gibraltar. For all of us, first time we would see the rock. In the street of Gibraltar it was quite busy with traffic, so we paid close attention to the AIS monitor on the VHF, so we could see if there was any danger for collisions. We were sailing most of the time on the autopilot, and we noticed that the batteries still frequently needed recharging, because after 2 or 3 hours we got a battery alert from the equipment. So one of the batteries is still not good enough. The weather stayed changeable, sometimes little wind, sometimes more wind, so most of the time the engine was on anyway. A couple of times we noticed that the engine was making sounds, so we checked it out and the fan belt needed again tightening up. This was surprising us, but we could not find the cause yet. Sailing along the Portuguese west coast on this third day of sailing, in the afternoon the engine started to make strange sound again, and again the fan belt had to be tightened. Also we noticed there was some smoke coming out of the engine room. We could not really find the origin of it and kept an eye on it. During the evening it got worse and worse, and we decided to push on anyway to open the hatch and to make sure that not too much smoke stayed inside the cabin of the boat. We went to the port of Cascais to see about repairs. In the night, in the dark, around 4 o'clock, we approached the entrance to the port of Cascais. We saw across the entranceway 3 red buoys, which were not on our map. We kept most of them to our left due to the strong wind, and we were tired, we were in a hurry to get in, and we missed the last one. Luckily the boat doesn't have much draft, so we passed over the shoal unharmed, but that will teach us to keep sharp at all times. On that Friday we could not get a mechanic anymore, so that one would come on Monday. We had all weekend to go to Lisbon, see Cascais, and do some jobs around the ship until the mechanic could say anything. It turned out there were 2 major problems with the engine. One, the dynamo had not been attached properly. In Almeria there was a bit missing, which made it shaking, and which made the fan belt also shake and therefore wear out. Secondly, there was a big hole in the mixing elbow of the engine. This is where the cooling water and the engine exhaust fumes mix together to be taken out of the boat via other pipes. But due to this hole, water was pouring in on the engine side, and smoke as well coming into the boat like that. A part needs to be ordered for this. It will take at least 2 or 3 weeks to get here from Japan. So this meant Almeria was our final destination. We used our time to clean the bilge pump and do some other jobs that could still be done in those days. The weather was good. Well, so far for now for this video log of the trip. As you see, we only got not even halfway. This was mainly caused because the repairs we needed, but also because we sometimes were tired due to heavy weather. So that should be calculated extra. This trip will continue again with a boat from March, and I will keep you posted on the progress of that. For now, two big lessons we learned from this is to check and double check, for example, the contents of the diesel tank. Is there really enough of it, or should we top up at the port or the next port? And the other one was when there is a patch on the engine part somewhere, even if it's checked now by the mechanic, this exhaust part, it should have been replaced. Don't sail with it if you don't have to. Thank you for watching. See you again. Bye bye.